Hi, I'm Victor Margiotta, and this is the Community Show. Thanks for watching. We are so lucky to have Mary Mancini and Margiotta, international musicians, to come on our show and talk about family, tradition. We're going to talk about church and how important it is to go to church and getting involved in the community. So, Mary, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you,
Thank you,
Mario.
Victor,
You're
for
welcome.
inviting
this
us.
is
This
Inviting
is
us.
wonderful. This is so great, you know.
How long have you been doing music?
Well, I sang my first solo when I was 10 years old.
Gosh.
I went to the Assumption School, our beautiful Assumption church and school building in Peekskill. And of course, music was always, I never thought that I should be doing anything else in life except singing. So at 10 years old, I sang and we had our usual Christmas concert, and I did my first solo, Winter Wonderland,
Yeah.
when I was 10 years old.
Oh, there's no doubt that music is within everybody. You know, everybody loves music. Every country in the world loves music. There's something about it. It must be the beating of our heart. That
Yes,
that
yes.
rhythm that we all
Right.
love, and it's so important to us.
And I think also that I come from a musical family. My
Okay.
grandfather was a wonderful mandolinist, and every week he would get together with a group, and they would play mandolins, and they would play the overtures from the operas. Every Sunday, we were at my grandmother's house for dinner, and after dinner, my grandfather always took out the mandolin, my uncles took out their guitars, and music was part of our lives. There was an emphasis on it.
Yeah.
And my grandmother had a piano upstairs, and I used to disappear. I used to go up there and make believe I was the best pianist in the world. I was 5 years old,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but you were introduced to it. That's
So that's how
important.
Yes, and that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Mario? When did you start playing?
Well, actually, my music started probably when I was about 10, 11.
Uh-huh.
I was born in Italy, but
Wow.
my father decided that we should move to France because after World War II, Italy was not in good shape. So he was looking for a better future for myself and my two brothers. So we moved to France in 1947. I was I was a little kid then. My father got the job right away. Good job, and everybody was happy. So I started my music education. Uh, I started actually playing the accordion, just picking up songs that my mother used to sing. So my father, smart man,
Yeah.
he realized that, wow, this kid must have some talent. He can memorize songs and play them. So he took me to my first teacher. And that's how it started. Then
That's
I
awesome.
went to different teachers.
Uh-huh.
I studied competitions over there. And I just went on from there.
That's
And I
awesome.
never stopped.
Excellent.
And again, like Mary said, I never thought of doing anything,
Anything
else
else, yeah.
in life except music. Because it came natural and I was good at it. And as I went, I got better and better. You know, I became known in the area in France, which was the Alsace-Lorraine, Northeast, and then I won bigger competitions, and then eventually we came to the United States back in 1959 because my brothers were here already, and I had an uncle in Peekskill. I had an aunt in Philadelphia. So we had family here already. And so they, you know, my brothers asked, "You want to come to the States?" My father said, "Sure." So we did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Who were some of the people you studied under?
Well, I started studying with Elsa Lompman. She had been the former director of the American Conservatory of Music in Berlin.
Wow.
And she had a very successful career in Germany and then came here to Peekskill. And I was fortunate because when I was 10 years old, and I give him the credit, Howard Preminger was the organist at the Assumption. I was in the choir, and he realized that I had exceptional talent. I mean, I was 11, 12 years old, and he used to say to me, Mary, sing, I need altos today. Sing alto, don't sing soprano. You know, I mean, I was 11 years old, you know, so he realized, but he was also my, a music teacher in middle school. And so he said, listen, I want to, when I was about 15 or 16, he said, I want to take you down to Juilliard. I want them to audition you for scholarship. And well, he took me down and they said, absolutely not. She has to study with one of our professors for one solid year.
Okay.
Well, you know, we're talking a lot of years ago, right? A lot of years.
A couple.
Okay, so at that time, I mean, my father worked 3 jobs to support our family. My mother was, of course, stay-at-home mom, and there was no way I could get into Manhattan. I mean, if you said that today, it's an easy thing, but then it wasn't easy, and so the opportunity passed by, of course, but he said, I'm going to find you a good teacher. So when I was 17, he found me Elsa Lompman. She had studios in Manhattan, and she had studios here. So I started lessons with her, and I studied with her for about 11, 12 years. Then well, at that time I was concertizing. I was actually doing concerts in Manhattan, concerts in the local area community. And then I took some time off after that. I had my daughter and, you know, working and balancing life and singing. At that time, I worked for IBM at the Watson Research Center. I worked in the legal department there.
Nice.
And then one day I just said, okay, I had enough of this. Music is my life, and this is where I'm going.
That's right.
So, but I then started studying later with Carolina Segura Holden. She was Luciano Pavarotti's coach here in the States. And I was with her for 12 years.
Wow.
And she was remarkable.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, she's the
It was
one
amazing.
that I mean, of course, Elsa was marvelous.
Yeah, but she took you to that next
She looked at me and said, your technique is flawless. Wow. We don't have to worry about that.
level. Okay.
You have, what we're going to work on is repertoire. And of course, I have to still say that the classics and opera, that's what I'm trained in. But I also have the technique that I developed for singing, you know, rock and disco music, which I also do.
Awesome.
You know, I don't do as much of it now, but because over the years you kind of change, but I'm blessed to be able to sing all styles of music. It's like you, Mario. It's the same thing.
Well, it's the same thing. Well,
Yeah.
And it's about
we got,
doing homework.
you know,
Well, that's it.
You know, because I used to say to Carolina, the same thing to Elsa. I used to say, "What would I do without you?" And she looked at me and she goes, "It has nothing to do with me. You go home and you do the work."
Right.
And when I tell you that both of us are workaholics when it comes to music,
That's awesome.
and that's how you develop your craft. You master your craft. And we've done many workshops for colleges
Yeah.
and high schools. And the one thing I always tell them, if you're not willing to sleep it, eat it, breathe it, live it,
Yep.
give it up.
Yep.
Because that's what it requires to be successful.
Yeah.
And we're so blessed because we've done and
had the
still do
opportunity.
our homework.
Sure.
We still do. It's, I don't know. Would you call it an obsession?
Well, I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure if it's an obsession, but
Well,
you
it
know,
has to be because.
but it has to be.
And how do you remember all the words to these songs? That's the part that I get.
Got a little computer up
I
there.
get. Oh,
He remembers
yeah,
everything.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing. And how many different languages?
8.
Wow,
8.
that's pretty amazing.
And I studied, I had private tutors in all of the languages. But of course, French and Italian, because Mario speaks fluent French since he was raised in
Yeah.
France. And I grew up in a typical Napolitana family. So the Napolitana songs, no problem. But when I studied opera, I studied Italian thoroughly. And then all the other languages I've had tutors in. And Chinese, when we went on our China tours, I went to the China Institute and studied there for 6 months.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
that was
amazing.
and you know, I also studied American Sign Language, so I also do some of that as well. Yeah, so
Tell us about China. That must have been incredible.
yeah.
Was-
What did-
You know, the Chinese people, when we had a concert, they were amazed that she was able to sing in Chinese.
Oh my God.
Their songs in Chinese. So every time she sang one of those songs in their language, every 2 minutes they clap. In the middle of the song, they just clap because they couldn't get over.
The fact that she was
That
speaking
she was able
Chinese.
to do
Ah,
that.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And it's an interesting, because it's based on really on musical tones, the Chinese language. It's an amazing language. I can't read it, obviously, but we had a marvelous liaison, right? Song Yang.
Song Young.
Song lives in Georgia, and he still lives there. I actually spoke to him about 6 months ago. But he's the one that organized the trip. He was one of the best tenors I have ever sung with in my entire life and career. We did together in the theaters in China, along with 100-piece symphony orchestra. I sang Chinese I sang O Sole Mio in Italian,
Okay.
and he sang it in Chinese.
That was fun.
And that was just awesome.
I could
It
imagine.
was awesome. But yeah, so we had experiences there. We sent all of the music ahead. You can't imagine now, if you know a symphony orchestra of 100 musicians. So now they have 15 violins, first violin, 15 second violins, and then all the rest are the brass section, the rhythm
That's
sections.
a lot of music.
We sent
Cloud
about
music.
3 huge cases of music over to China. Wow. The work involved. The first time we went was in 1999. And we had to, because I had mentioned this to you previously, it was a Christian organization from Toronto. And so they provided everything except our airfare. Our fan base, our community, our families, all band together and raised enough money for us to go along and take our staff assistant with us.
Nice.
So we have a wonderful fan base, wonderful, family, friends, fans, and they raised enough money for us to travel, and there, and it was one of the most extraordinary experiences.
It was.
We had dinner at the governor's mansion in Kunming, which is southwest China. We had, we did so many incredible things. They took us everywhere because they wanted to show their country.
Yeah, of course.
Took us to the Great Wall, took us to the Forbidden City, took us everywhere. and the main goal was that we were happy and content in their country. And,
And that you would come and tell everybody how wonderful it was.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They always wanted to look good,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Chinese people,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
and especially government.
At the,
They never wanted to look
Yeah.
bad. So
We-
they did everything
yeah,
for you.
we had. Oh, sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go.
after each
No, go ahead.
performance, they took us to one of their favorite restaurants. And
And
they always
banquets.
took us
Oh,
in the back in one of their private rooms. So we could be maybe 10 people one night, another night maybe 25 people. So we had this private room, was all set up for dinner. And we get in there, everybody comes in. And so we're standing up, we're waiting, you know, and our friend, Song Young, says, nobody's going to sit down until you sit down. So we had to sit first, and then everybody
It was,
sat.
that's
these
amazing.
little things that you know, when you go to different countries and you realize, wow, they don't do things the way we do them,
No.
and we don't do things
But
the way.
it's good to experience.
Oh yeah. But we had 1 year of orientation through emails that everything that we learned had to learn before we made the trip. Everything. It was a very interesting. And then on our way, we stopped in Bangkok, Thailand, and we were overnight there for the final orientation about what protocol, how to act, what to do, what not to do, all of that combined.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was an experience that we had to live it before we got there.
That's amazing.
So we would know how to handle, right? It was, it
Yeah.
was serious business.
Well,
you know.
they want you to act appropriately. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But here we are, back to Peekskill,
yeah.
and this beautiful town,
Yes.
and this beautiful
Yes.
church.
Yes.
Talk about the Assumption Church.
Wow. A lot to say about Assumption Church
Oh, I
because
love it. It's such a great community.
I have been there
Been
through
around a long time.
You know?
several pastors,
Yeah. Me
course.
too. It's St. Pat's.
so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Monsignor Ansbro
Who
will
we
live
loved.
on
I know. He was
in
the best.
spirit there forever because he was part of the fabric of what Assumption Church represents.
There's no doubt.
And people just adored him, absolutely adored him. He was a true priest. He was a genuine human being who helped so many people.
Really.
There's nothing you can say about him that it shouldn't be inflated a dozen times. He
We
was
loved him here. He came
remarkable.
here all the time, and we loved him.
We had our Christmas,
I know.
Christmas
he's the-
parties here.
Yeah.
You know, he never forgot or never put things aside.
No.
It was always, you know, we started before he became ill and he retired, and we started because we do the 5 o'clock mass on Saturday and the 8 o'clock mass on Sunday.
So go to church.
Go to church
That's right.
because you may not think it means anything, but it stays with you. It's where we go to be fed. You know.
Yes.
And now it's hard because we have a lot of different priests. Now our present pastor, Father Esteban Sanchez, has done miracles
Yes,
in that
it's
building.
an excellent church.
Miracles in that building. How he manages to do, you know, what he does, it's incredible.
That's
what he
awesome.
does. What he has done physically, in the building and just in the whole parish itself. He's been such a tremendous asset.
So that's a perfect chance to mention the fact that since he's doing the work on the church, you guys are having a fundraiser,
Yes.
and that's coming up in November.
It's coming up in November the 8th. We're having an Italian dinner party.
All right.
We're excited about that because, you know, I know October is Italian Heritage Month, but we had to do it in November. But I started a fundraiser in 2015 for Mrs. Picarella died. She's the mother of Linda Green. And Linda came to me. She knew that we needed to get work done on the organ. Nothing had been done for 100 years.
Oh my gosh.
100 years, except a tuning here and there, but everything was breaking down, okay? So she came to me and she said, I would like to see if what we can do is instead of flowers, if people can donate to the organ. And there was born the Organ Restoration Fund, which I've been chairing for 9 years.
Wow.
We have raised $96,000.
Awesome.
We need another 36 to finish the
project,
restoration. So we're running a 300 club, praying that we can sell these tickets. So if you want a 300 club
Yeah,
ticket,
yeah. Go online.
It's go online. It's on our website, and also the church's website. And we'll, you can email me. We can give them our email, right? And
Yeah.
email me. And if you want to come to the dinner, come to church. And we're selling tickets after the
There you go.
masses this coming weekend.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah. So, and the organ is magnificent. It was magnificent to start, but now it's cathedral quality, right? It's cathedral
That's right.
quality.
Wow.
When you hear that organ, you go, wow. And then our Christmas concert is coming up in December.
Okay.
There, and again, everything is on our website. So, and we're going to. I think Mario's going to do a piece on the organ to start the concert
Oh, that's awesome.
because we want people to hear where all this money has gone. Because people go, oh my gosh, $125,000.
Oh, I know, but nothing's
organ.
cheap anymore.
a lot of
Everything
money.
is so expensive.
And it's very specialized work. Stanton Doherty is our technician who is remarkable.
Nice.
And he has helped us, I can't tell you, tremendously.
Yeah.
It would probably have been another 50,000 or something. He's been so good to us. I can't even say, but So we're happy, and you know what? The organ will definitely outlive us by a lot of years. It's going to be good for 75 to 100 years.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Right?
Excellent.
the organ back in 1961, my parents lived in Peekskill for a period of 15 years. They moved in 75. They moved back to Philadelphia. But during the early 60s, because I was still young, I was single, we used to go to church together, the Assumption. And I used to love to go upstairs. Why? Because the organ was there.
See, I thought it
A
was because
musician.
of me in the choir.
But
What a disappointment that
I
was,
know.
Mario.
It's I
Being
could
a
just,
musician, that's it. So I was,
I could always say that it's always been a big part of my life. Going to St. Patrick's School for 8 years,
Yes.
always going to church.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
like your other family, the people that you go to church with.
It's like it is your family.
It is.
And let me say that being in the church all of my entire life, this is the only family some people have. They don't have families like we have.
No, I know.
It's the only family they have, and they rely on it. And we have so many priest friends
Yeah.
from everywhere, from everywhere. We get together, they come over the house, we have dinner, we share time together. They've come and said masses in our home.
Yeah. It's the foundation.
It's
it
the
really
foundation of our lives.
There's no
And
doubt.
no, my parents at Assumption, when they redid the church, they put plaques on the seats when Monsignor was there.
Yeah.
And there's a plaque where my parents used to sit. They used to sit in the same seat every Sunday.
That's awesome.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
So I learned that.
Yeah.
And being part of the church, this is really our life.
Yeah.
This is our foundation of our life.
well, that's our second home, actually.
It is. And
And thank you for
But
all
the-
the work you do. I really appreciate it. And I could remember from when I was a kid hearing you sing Ave Maria, at weddings But I tell you, you mentioned on your Facebook page about the confirmation mass. That's got to be one of the most beautiful masses because it's the Holy Spirit
the
is
Holy
there.
Spirit is
And it's
moving.
amazing to see these young kids
Yes.
starting their journey to become, Catholics. And now they're set forth to do what they're supposed to do, which is
Right.
to spread the word of God.
Right, right. And we need parents to help their children do that.
Definitely.
And we live in a society in this country where everything is quick.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's moving from here to there
yeah.
to there. There's no
Just gotta
time
slow
for the
down.
children to find themselves, to search inside themselves, to have quiet time. They need quiet time. They need time to reflect. I have to just quickly say one little story about Dominic. That's our youngest grandson of my daughter's. My daughter has 3 boys, so Dominic is the youngest. And Dominic was always the quiet one, And we used to talk because we used to take care of them on occasion,
Yeah.
Well, actually regularly 1 day a week, And so we had a lot of time to talk about God, to talk about, they used to cook with me. They learned to make gnocchi when they were 4 and 5 years old.
Awesome.
They baked Christmas cookies with me when they were, and then they're still doing it.
Awesome. It's tradition.
Right?
It's
They're still
family.
doing
That's
it.
so important.
But one day, Dominic was 5, and he was sitting in the back seat, and sometimes you never knew he was there.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I'm in the front seat, and I'm driving it. Nona? I go, yes? He goes, I have a best friend. You know who my best friend is? I go, no, who's your best friend? He said, Jesus.
Awesome.
So you see, it's in there.
Yep, it's excellent.
It's in there.
But they don't know unless
don't-
they're taught. So
Right.
we have to be.
We have to be diligent.
Yes.
We
You
have to be diligent.
exposed.
So we're going to end the show, but
Is
you
it that
guys are going to. I know how fast was that. So you guys are going to do a little song for us.
Yes.
But thanks so much for coming on, and we're going to have
Thank you
to do
so
a part
much.
2.
Thank you.
Dominus tecum